أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقالوا لولا أنزل عليه آيات من ربه قل إنما الآيات عند الله وإنما أنا نذير مبين أولم يكفهم أنا أنزلنا عليك الكتاب يتلى عليهم إن في ذلك لرحمة وذكرى لقوم يؤمنون صدق الله العظيم. Mr. Chairman and my dear brothers and sisters, the subject is Al-Quran, a miracle of miracles. I have read to you a verse from the Holy Quran. As we proceed, I will explain the verse and what Allah Bari Ta'ala says about this subject of miracles. But let me explain to you what a miracle is. What is a miracle? A mu'jiza. A miracle is an impossibility, something beyond human endeavor, human effort. For example, one of us, while this meeting is carrying on, he falls unconscious and he expires. A doctor is called up and the doctor certifies that the person is dead. Another doctor is brought forward to give his opinion and he also certifies that the man is dead. Take the body away, prepare for burial. But there comes along a man of God, sees this dead person, dead body, and he says, he commands, Kum bi-iznillah, wake up, get up in the name of Allah, and the person gets up, alive and well. We say it's a miracle because it was an impossibility certified by two doctors, and yet the person has come back to life. Miracle. But suppose the man was dead for 3 days, put in a mortuary, in a morgue, and after 3 days somebody comes along, the man is gone as hard as rock, and he shouts at the corpse, Kum bi-iznillah, arise in the name of Allah, and the man comes back from the dead, from the mortuary, from the morgue. We say that is a greater miracle because it's a greater impossibility. But after the person is dead and buried, his bones have rotted in the grave, and somebody cries, Kum bi-iznillah, and the person gets out of the grave, alive, breathing, well, we say that is still a greater miracle. So greater the impossibility, the greater the miracle. I hope this definition, is simple enough for everybody to grasp. Now in that sense, the Quran is a miracle of eloquence. In the first instance, you see, nations before Islam were sent prophets. And mankind had a tendency to demand proof by some supernatural acts. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, the holy prophet Moses, he was given a type of miracle which was akin to magic. He was among the magicians in Egypt. So he had to contend with these magicians, and Allah gave him a miracle to confound these magicians. Fir'aun, thinking that Musa alayhi salam was another magician, he brought forth his own magicians to play the part. And the magicians, the Egyptian magicians, they had little magic sticks, magic wands, and they threw them on the ground. And all these little sticks became little snakes, serpents. Allah Bari Ta'ala had already given Hazrat Musa alayhi salam an experience with his rod on the mount. Now he knew what he was to do. So he threw his rod, and the rod turned into a serpent. And this serpent swallowed up all the little snakes of the Egyptians. And Hazrat Musa alayhi salam picked up the serpent, and it turned back once more into a rod. And the Egyptian magicians, they realized that this is no magic. This is not hypnotism. This is not mesmerism. Because to hypnotize a person, you cast a spell. you make the person to see what is really not there. It's an illusion is created. The sticks, you can make it appear like snakes by casting a spell. But here, all the little sticks had vanished. To demesmerize, it would have been to make the snakes to appear as sticks. No. But these sticks had vanished into the serpent, and the serpent was a rod, and the rod was no thicker than what it was before. A greater miracle. And the Egyptian magicians, they confessed that this is no magic. This is something beyond. It was a miracle, a real miracle, not magic. So Allah gives miracles according to the mentality, the needs of the people. People with magical minds, they were confounded with magic, superior magic, real magic. Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, Jesus Christ, when he appears on the scene, he comes among a people who were steeped in Greek medicine. They were performing wonders with medicine. So Allah gives him healing powers, healing those born blind. A person who goes blind by shock or by some damage, infection, is quite a different thing from one who is born blind. And Allah Bari Ta'ala gave him those powers of healing those who are born blind and the lepers, and he gave life back to the dead, revived the dead, bi-iznillah. Type of miracle to convince the people. Our Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he comes among a people who were boasting about their language. The language was the boast. Their eloquence, their poetry. They said, we are an eloquent people. We are the Arabs. And the rest of the world is ajam, dumb, compared to us. They boasted. They would ask, this is you, in your language, you ajami, how many words have you got for a horse in your language? Synonyms for a horse. Oh man says, maybe half a dozen. He says, you see, we can give you 100 in our language. He says, how many words, synonyms you have for a sword? Oh, anybody would say half a dozen. He said, you see, in my language I can give you 100. So you see, we are the eloquent people and you people are all dumb, ajam. So among such a people when he comes along, the greatest miracle that he gave was the Quran. That the language of the Quran in the first instance was beating the people. And they realized, people with sense, that this is not poetry, this is not prose, this is something beyond our understanding, and people accepted the faith. But let me tell you what a non-Muslims, they have to say about the Quran and its eloquence.